Hey everyone, it's Baneworth, and welcome to my first and hopefully not last video premiere. This is not something I would normally do, but I promised you all a surprise if you tuned in at this time, and it's at the very end of the video. But first you have to sit through me talking about stuff for maybe 15 minutes or so. So let's just cut to the chase. You're probably all wondering why I brought you all here. Well, I want to talk about stuff regarding the past year or two, as well as the future of this channel, which we'll get to in due time. So anyway, what's happening as of late? I'm in my last term at TAFE. I'm extra busy putting all the work needed into finishing my assessments, and that also means less time to work on my videos. Yeah, it's already been long established that there's lots of stuff going on in life that prevents me from spending as much time as I can making videos for my channel, and now my production rate is at an all-time low. And the most likely cause of this, apart from TAFE, is probably the ultimate case of burnout. Now, I'm no stranger to burnout. It's happened to me a few times before on this channel, as was the case in the very next episode of Theme Park Tycoon after completing What's in Lull 6. But it was usually pretty brief, and I more or less recovered in the next main video. But this one, as sad as it may sound, might be a sign that my time on Roblox is running its course. But before I go into any depth, I figured as a way to keep you all interested, I'm gonna go through the history of my channel and give some insight on my older videos when I think it suits it, and how it ultimately leads up to today's scenario. So from 2017 to late 2018, I was using Wondershare Filmora to make my videos, and most of the videos I made with it were just single clips with captions added in and just minimal editing in general, while others were just video compilations with music thrown in. But then around, I think it was May 2018, when I released the Saved by the Bell video, where I started to try newer things, and among them was adding voice clips, particularly of Strong Bad and Marasmus the Magician. And it wouldn't be until the beginning of the Roblox What's in Lull series where I'd start using voice clips and sound effects a lot more regularly. And it was right after the second episode of What's in Lulls where I straight up abandoned Filmora and moved on to Adobe Premiere Pro. And later on, for my STD2 hardcore video, I got my Blue Yeti microphone, and I've been using it ever since. And of course, the quality of my videos has gone up since then, with some I enjoyed making more than others. I'm not even gonna beat around the bush here. I love Roblox Death Run. It's one of my favorite games on the platform, but I am never making another ranking video for it again. Look, I'm happy with how the map ranking turned out, for the most part, but making both those videos was a nightmare. You know, hoping certain traps play out the way you want them, and hoping you get chosen as killer for said maps. Especially since they didn't have that queue list back then, so it was a complete guessing game. Yeah, it was a huge stress fest. And it's the reason why, after that, I only did review videos of each new season. They were a lot less stressful and demanding, and the amount of effort I put into them more or less depended on the amount of time since the last season. My Season 9 video will tell you that much. Man, it's such a shame that the devs have left the game. Pretty much the only love it's gonna get from now on are just bug fixes. I'm sure gonna miss the new seasons. But yeah, obviously, the bigger the video, the more demanding it gets. And it gets pretty exhausting after a while. But that doesn't mean there aren't any parts I enjoyed making. I'd say a shiny example of a video I'm proud of that I enjoyed making is a typical day in Super Bomb Survival. As the first episode was more of a learning experience than anything, but the second one I had a much better idea of how I wanted to write the jokes and stuff, and they were all so much fun for me to make. There's way too many for me to count. And I guess STD2 was also fun, if a bit big. I can't say quite the same thing for the Cave update video though, because that one was made more in that I felt I had to than I wanted to, because I wasn't really that interested in the update. Not helping was the fact that it was clashing with my recording sessions for What's in Lulls 8, as you can probably all tell from the opening of the video. And even though I'm happy with how it all turned out, it left a huge mark on my schedule. Which is why I'm not doing another video like that for the game again, unless it's a huge update, like the Cave update itself. And if that does happen, it's gonna be a much shorter video, closer to the one with the glitch bomb. But yeah, going back to a typical day in Roblox, barring the first episode of course, I had sort of a plan of how I wanted to write everything. And sure, at times it did kinda hurt my brain trying to come up with funny jokes, but honestly, that could apply to most of my current videos to varying degrees. Even the Roblox What's in LOL series. And that's mainly due in part to my higher standards. Like, I always try and make the videos the best I can, especially since these days I'm learning new editing tricks and having more ways to get my resources. Though of course I'll always have my limits, particularly for the latter, and there's a variety of reasons why I might not have been able to get what I wanted for the video. Maybe it was too difficult to get, maybe I had to sign into a website, or maybe I just didn't know the tricks at the time. In fact, the big Death Run videos at the beginning of their respective years each had a joke that I actually scrapped because of this. I even wanted to share them with you all at one point, and I figured now's the perfect time to do it. I always love giving a bit of insight to my work. So, in the rolling log segment of the overpowered traps ranking, right at the moment when I'd first bring up the hitbox, a horrified Reimu would appear on screen. And anyone who has played pretty much any shoot 'em up ever, not just Toho, would more than likely get the joke. The other one is in the Death Run map ranking in the Poisonous Avenue segment, the moment where I bring up the cave section of the map. Instead of saying, and everyone's favorite yada yada yada, I would say, and who can forget, followed by a clip from Minecraft The New Adventures episode 5, where Fart Garfunkel goes, the Bat Cave. Unfortunately, all of the earlier episodes of Minecraft The Noob Adventures were removed from YouTube, and all the remastered versions are on Newgrounds only. And to add insult to injury, I didn't even think to use the Xbox recorder at the time. Yeah, as of fairly recently, I just use the Xbox recorder on YouTube videos to get my video clips. It's a bit messier than just using a converter, but it's worth it just to save space. And another thing to take into account is that these days I'm almost always working on 2 videos simultaneously, with one being bigger than the other, and the smaller one usually being my Let's Play videos. And for those, their upload rates are more down to me not always having the time to record the gameplay footage. That, or I'm probably just a lazy fucker who just wants to relax an extra few hours. Though I suppose there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there have been occasions where I felt I was behind schedule, but it was late at night, so I didn't have the energy to carry on. It's always a good idea to not overwork yourself, but there have been times where I felt I was slacking off a bit too much. Typically, I try to get around 2 to 3 hours of work on my videos every day. Unless I'm out, of course, usually TAFE, which usually takes up an hour's worth of editing sessions. Either way, I think that gives me just the right amount of time to do other stuff, like helping out my family with stuff and catching up on assessments, and even play games other than Roblox, like TF2 and OpenRCT2. And yes, I haven't posted anything on that game in a while. I kinda ran into creative block on Gravity Garden, so I sort of moved on for a bit and decided to do Fungus Woods instead. Which is now done, by the way. So hopefully soon I'll find it in me to continue on Gravity Gardens and finish it up, and show the rest of the coasters that I haven't shown you already. Anyway, I think that's enough rambling for now, and should probably start going into detail about the decline of my Roblox activity. Simply put, I just don't find myself playing Roblox games on my own accord nearly as much as I used to, and instead I'm just playing them to get footage for my video projects. Like, think back to the early days of Roblox What's in LOLs, or even funny moments in Roblox if you want to go that far. Because around that time, a lot of my videos were really quite small, and were basically just funny moments that I felt deserved their own videos. And that's because, aside from the old Epic Minigames rankings, I wasn't devoting my time to certain games for certain projects, like I do nowadays. And I was more or less just playing my favorite Roblox games to my heart's content. Just having fun, messing around with my friends, and saving replays of anything funny that happened, rather than making full-fledged videos about big updates or events. That's not to say there aren't any worthy moments that I saved in and around the production of 1 billion views shenanigans and Slap Attack 2, or hell, even the Death Run Maps ranking. But overall, most of my funny moments these days end up in either my Death Run season reviews or a typical day in Roblox. It's just how the way things are now. That's not to say I don't want to do any more episodes of What's and Lols, but if you go back to the end of Even More Funny Moments in Roblox, I outright stated that there was like a boatload more clips that I wanted to use but couldn't fit into the video. And that would continue to be the case up until Roblox What's and Lols 5, where I finally caught up. And with the way things are lately, that'll most likely happen again within 2 installments or less. Anyway, in a nutshell, I'm just not playing games as freely as I used to, and instead just playing them to entertain everyone. Which I always loved doing and still seek to do, but with everything else said, and I really hate to admit it, but all this might be a sign that I'm losing interest in Roblox. Now, I'm not gonna pretend I didn't see this coming sooner or later, cause really, I've been playing this game for nearly 13 years. I've been on this platform since I was 8. If anything, I'm surprised I'm still here after all this time. 21 years old now, beginning to seek employment, certainly doesn't help matters. And it's not just Roblox either, like TF2. Nowadays, I pretty much only play when new maps have been added, usually on Halloween and Christmas. Though I mostly just play community-created MVM tours, like Madness vs. Machines, Digital Directive, Anniversary Annihilation, and the brand new Holographic Harvest. Even the April Fool's tours, which all got more than a few good laughs out of me. But overall, that's pretty much all the love I give TF2 nowadays. And this may very well be the point in my life where I'm starting to move on from things. Now, I was thinking of ways to carry out this channel for a few years or so, but any of the other games I played on my PC either don't have enough going for them, or just don't really lend themselves to funny videos like mine. TF2 is a more unique case where, I'm just gonna say this now, when it comes to doing silly and impractical things in casual mode, it absolutely sucks to live in Australia. Like, unless there's an event taking place, like Scream Fortress, 95% of the teams I'm matched up against in casual are absolutely serious and coordinated. And my team's less commonly, so I almost never get a chance to do anything fun or silly. And it's consistently been like this since Jungle Inferno. And again, the only times this isn't the case are the holiday events, you know, when there's new maps been added. And helping this case even less is the fact that I'm not even that great at TF2. Like, the only time I ever top score in recent years are when I'm playing completely seriously, as I stated earlier, but that's rare. And I love Team Fortress 2 and all, but it's just not really something I'd enjoy making videos of, nor would I be happy with them for all those reasons. And that's another thing, barring maybe my FE2 videos, none of my modern videos were really meant to be a showcase of any skill. Just me messing about in my favorite games, sometimes exploring updates and just recording anything funny that happens. It's just the kind of guy that I am. But I think that's enough brooding for now. I think now it's time to start talking about stuff you guys do want to hear. And yes, that includes the surprise at the end, it's coming up soon. But first, allow me to go over the future of this channel and what I've got in store. Kinda like with my 2021 plans. So, I've got a few ongoing series on my channel that will eventually need to be capped off. My Venture Forward 2 Let's Play is pretty self-explanatory, and I've more or less gone through the situation with What's and Lols. My FE2 walkthroughs, however, are in a bit of an awkward spot. One not too dissimilar to a certain other series from earlier in my channel's history. As for a typical day in Roblox, yes, that will continue up to a certain point. I'm not sure yet how many games I'll cover, but hopefully it'll be a sizable amount that I'm happy with. And I've got more plans for epic minigames and Super Bomb Survival, and yes, they're exactly what you think they are. In fact, I'm not even gonna keep it a secret now. I actually have a bucket list of many of the stuff I want to do before I quit. It'll take me a while to cross them all off, but I'm more than happy to do them all just for you guys. My days on this channel may be numbered, but I'm eternally grateful for your support throughout these past 5 years. Even now, I still can't believe I'm this popular. 8,000 subscribers and still rising? I could have never imagined myself in that position. And I believe that's all I want to say. So now, as promised, the surprise at the end of the video. Thank you all for tuning in on this occasion and bearing with me for 15 or so minutes. I hope you all love my gift to you all. So until next time, Take care. Baneworth out. I really want to push myself further. I kind of regret making the video. I need to become insane. I need to become a man. I really want to